Police are under pressure to arrest those behind a series of deadly tavern shootings in different parts of the country recently. Affected communities say that they live in fear while police seemingly struggle to bring those responsible to book. In a recent incident, 2 more people were killed and 7 others wounded when unknown gunmen stormed a tavern in GaRankuwa in Tshwane on Saturday. Our reporter Slindelo Masikane has been tracking developments around this and joins us now. Sli, you've been speaking to communities that have been affected by the horrifying incidents we've seen over the last few weeks. What exactly is it that they're telling you?
Well, I think it's been a couple of weeks now since we've seen a number of attacks that have been taking place in various areas around Gauteng. This goes as far, like you said, from GaRankuwa to Lenasia. The deadliest one that we've seen so far happened in Nomzamo in Soweto, where we had about 16 people shot dead in a hail of bullets while they were just sitting, enjoying their drinks in a tavern in the late hours of the evening. And what communities are saying is that they're seeing an increase in police visibility in the area, but it's not allaying their fears and anxiety because of the lack of arrests that we're seeing in this particular matter, in Nomzamo in particular. Residents were saying that, the police visibility is great. They're there at night, but during the day you don't really see them. But I think where it matters, where it's really dark, then you do see them coming out and patrolling. There's also seen an improvement in terms of infrastructure where lights that were no longer working have been replaced. But the issue remains, we don't know who these people are. We don't know if they're still roaming or lurking in these communities. And so for the residents themselves, they still don't feel safe. Let's take a listen.
Ya lokho kusiphethe kabuhlungu kahle kahle ngoba bekufanele bathi batholakale labantu sikwazi ukuthi sibabone ukuthi obani or isizwe bayisuka phi lento abayenza babethunywe ubani ngoba ubulwane lento abayenza egazini labafethu.
Since amaphoyisa ke esigade lapha eNomzamo siyawubona umehluko cause akho nto eyenzakalayo njengaseqaleni sileke sivisibamo 99 sekungcono ke ngoku.
Iyakuhlupha mhlambe lento yokuthi abatholakali laba abadubulile.
Uyahlupha ukuthi singabatholi ingcono kuthiwa siyabazi at least impilo zethu singaxola.
Umehluko ukhona ngoba amaphoyisa ayabonakala la. Siyawabona and futhi noshintsho selikhona nyani ukuthi sesakhanyiselwa la kahle kahle ukuthi unogesi la ngaphakathi. Kodwa kuhlupha kakhulu ukuthi labantu abakathi wala namanje asazi ukuthi umonakala abaza kanje bengabambe kuze abagcina ungakanani.
Sli, you've also had the opportunity to speak to some experts who have kind of analyzed, the recent shootings that we've seen. Based on their assessments, what are they saying?
So I pointedly asked one of the officials or experts, should I say, from the Institute of Security Studies in terms of, are we seeing an increase in these kinds of attacks, or are we just seeing an increase in reporting because of how frequently they're happening in a short space of time? And they said to me that, look, it's more of an increase in reporting. These kinds of attacks are nothing new. In fact, what they're saying is that the increase also really comes in terms of what they've labeled group violence. So we're seeing attacks within particular industries, within particular sectors. For example, taxi violence, illegal miners who are now targeting each other in very close proximity, where we're actually seeing civilians themselves succumbing to injuries or being, being shot dead in terms of these attacks. And they're saying that what needs to happen is that the police, in fact, just need to be allowed the space to actually investigate and gather evidence properly in order to be able to successfully prosecute, because this pressure that we put on law enforcement to make speedy arrests then results in people just being arrested on a whim, and then, like we saw with the Katlehong matter, somebody is released because of a lack of evidence. So the caution also from experts is that politicians need to be very careful about the kind of information that they're giving to the public, or should I say the hope that they're giving to the public. Because, for example, just a few days ago, we saw the police minister saying that they've got pictures, they know the identity, so then why don't we have arrests? It brings those questions into play. Let's just take a listen to what the expert had to say with regards to these attacks.
politicians must be careful what they say about these crime scenes and not get people's hopes up. You need to manage expectations. I think that's important. It's one thing to have names and places and registration numbers and such. It's another thing to prove a case against those people. And that we need to respect. It is a difficult task internationally, and we need to give the police some space to do a job properly.
Of course, we'll give them that space, but have you spoken to them?
I've, of course, given the police an opportunity to just give us comments and update in terms of their investigations. But the message I got this morning, in fact, late last night, was that the police would not be commenting until there is a breakthrough in the matter. But as it stands, investigations continue.
Slindelo Masikane following the Tavern shootings for us. Thank you very much for your time this evening.